So I'm going to make this short video about using tables to make your course pages or anything like assignments, test questions, anything you want to use the skill for look more professional. So here I have two charts that I made using tables. The first is showing the upcoming topics for weekly help sessions. And the second is 3 Canvas PDPs, making assignments, assessments, and using Commons and Infinite Campus. Those dates are all here. So I'm going to create a new page in the current module. So I'm going to start by going to my modules, and each module can collapse or expand using these arrows. And currently I'm working on building pages and content. And I would like to make a page called Using Tables Effectively, which you can see I've already made. So I'm going to delete it and start again. These videos take time. Over here is a plus sign. If I click plus, I'm adding an item to this current module. If I use the plus sign at the top of the page, I'm creating a new module. So I just want to add an item to this existing module. So I click on the plus sign, and this asks what I want to add: an assignment, a quiz, a file, a page. I want a page. This is a list of all the pages I've already created, but I want to make a new page, and I'm going to call it Using Tables Effectively. And I always indent in a module. So here is the item or the page, and I'm going to start by editing it and adding a table. So on the Rich Content Editor, the bottom row first tool is the table tool. So I can choose how many cells I would like to include in my table. And the idea is here to put the days of the week so that I can schedule a class in a different day each day of the week. And as you can see, I didn't make enough rows. So this down here is my editing bar for this table. So this is the properties. We'll look into that later. This could delete the table. This is to insert a row before the row I'm currently in, or after the row I'm currently in, or delete the row I'm currently in. This one will insert a column before, after, or delete a column. So I want to insert a row after for Friday. And maybe at this point I realize, hey, I should probably have another row across the top. So I want to insert another row before, where I can label day of the week, location, and click on location for, I don't know, I could put some directions or a lesson plan, what they're going to be doing in those locations. Next, I'd like to make the font larger, especially in the top of my chart. Maybe 18-point font will work, and I can bold it. I can also slide these and change the size, making this one the larger, because I'm going to be putting pictures in these last cells. So location on Monday is going to be in the Mac lab. On Tuesday, the classroom. On Wednesday, the library. And I'm going to keep the rotation going: Mac lab and the classroom. I may want to also center everything. I think things look nicer centered. So here's where I'm going to put pictures straight from Google. I have here a picture of a middle school library. The easiest way to insert a picture in Canvas is using the URL. So if you control and click on a picture and copy the image address, that's going to get you that URL. I go back to the course, and that's the library one. So I'm going to put my cursor inside this cell where I want to embed the image by URL. So I paste it. I always check decorative image so that a screen reader doesn't try and read this picture to a student who uses a screen reader because of a disability or whatever. Down here it shows me the dimensions of the picture. It's not too large of a rectangle. It's close to a square, which is what I'm looking for. When I click update, I can see that picture. It is a large picture. If I save this page, you can see actually how large that picture is. So I definitely want to shrink it down some. I go back into edit, click on the picture, and then I can grab the corners and shrink it down. You can see this is 280 by 210. That sounds like a good size. I'm going to copy the same size from here down to, actually I only have the library one day, so I'm not going to copy that one. Now I'm going to get a picture of a Mac lab, same place, and let's go backwards and get a picture of a middle school. Here's a classroom, 1024 by 682. That's going to be much closer to a rectangle. I want something closer to a square. I want something that is not huge. This picture right here, 2880 by 1920, that's a huge picture. I can shrink them down. I can certainly use them, but I'm just looking for something close to a square. Control, I'm holding down the control and I click on the image to copy the image address. I go back to my page and click in the classroom cell, click here to embed the image by URL. Now I can do it by uploading it. If I did it this way, when I choose Canvas, I'd have to say, where am I uploading it to? So I have to pick some folder and open that folder. And then I click here to upload the file from my computer. And then I update here at the bottom, and only then will it actually appear. So I'm not doing that. I'm going back to by URL. I've already pasted the URL. I'm checking that it's a decorative image and I'm updating it. And again, this is going to be larger picture. My other one I shrunk down to 280 by something. So I'm trying to get it close to that size. I can always save it again. This one I'm going to copy because I do have the classroom twice. So I just kept it highlighted and Command C to copy. And this is the cell for classroom, Command V to paste it there. And I do still need a picture twice of a Mac lab. Back to Google. And I can just change my search from middle school classroom to a middle school Mac lab or a computer lab. And let's try, I don't like any of these. Let's try this one. Okay, 400 by 300. I'm going to control click, copy the image address, go back to the assignment, click inside the cell, embed the image by URL, paste it here, alt text. 400 by 300, it is a decorative image. I click update, click on it, and I can downsize it. Again, I'm looking at that first number to be about 280 to make these comparable. I can always change them again after I save. First, I'm going to copy this last one, Command C. It's a picture of the Mac lab. So I'll put it down here in this cell and click save. And now when I look at my chart, my pictures are pretty much the same size. By design, I like symmetry. So before I continue editing this, I would like to make the text a little bit larger, and I think 18 point font is going to look a little bit better in here. I can slide this over, maybe shrink the size here to kind of make it look better, and possibly even center all of these pictures down the line for symmetry. Each one of these, I want to link to a page where I'm going to put directions. So I did already make some pages. You've already seen some of these pages. Here's one for the MacLab. It's currently linked. I can repeat again for the MacLab. This one, I want to link to the classroom, and I have a page for the classroom and I have a page for the library. And the final picture of the classroom, I want to actually show you how you could make a new page. So instead of linking to the current classroom, let's just say this day they're doing something different back in the classroom. So I want to make a new page, and I can make a new page right from here by clicking here and linking to a new page. I'm going to call this one Classroom Friday, because that's the day of the week. When I click insert link, it doesn't actually make the page yet. It has linked to the page. And once I click save and publish and try to go to that page, this is where it tells me the page does not exist, but you can create it below. So I'm going to put today is a silent reading day, and be prepared with your book. So I'm going to save and publish that page. Then when I go back to my module and look at using tables effectively, this is where we are. I've got all the 5 pictures. They all link and go to the correct pages. And now I just want to make this a little pretty because I like pretty, so I'm going to edit. When you click on the border, you get your properties bar underneath it. So this was the same thing to insert and delete columns and rows. But if you click on table properties, there's some things that you can change, like the height and the width, which you've already created, so there's no reason to really touch it. But you can put some space between cells or pad cells. I've centered it, so it doesn't really need padding, but I'm just showing you padding. Border, I do like a nice thick border. You can add a caption if you want. You can center it. Everything is already centered within each cell, but this centers the entire table on the page. And then here's the advanced settings. Don't touch anything in here. This changes depending on what you do and select down here. So the border style, this is where you could have a hidden border or no border. A hidden border you'll actually create a border that you hide. This way your images or text or whatever you've put on this page stays where it is, and that's a good way to design a page. And then you hide the border, but I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to choose a nice grooved border, and I like to use different colors. Unfortunately, there's no way to choose. This is looking for the HTML code of colors. So I'm just going to go to an HTML website. I just Googled HTML code. I'll include this for you. HTMLcolorcodes.com. First, you start by choosing what family of colors you want to be in. So maybe like a nice dark purple. I'll make the border a nice dark color. This is the code at the top. It needs to have a pound sign in front of it. So if the website you're using doesn't put it in, make sure you do. So I just copied this code. I go back to my page where I'm adding the table. I put the pound sign and paste the border color. And now I'm going to choose a background color, which coordinates but should be much, much lighter. And again, I'm copying that code and putting the pound sign, pasting that code. And when I click Okay, I now have changed what it looks like. It does look a little more professional, and all of this links, and that now I'm going to save all of this work, and you will be able to see it in the module, and I'm going to add the video right above this. Thank you. Hope you learned something.